We're now set to get going with the first exclusive conversation. We'll be having a requirement of 6 chairs on stage quickly. In the meantime, I'm going to be introducing our topic for the session. The topic that we're going to be discussing upon right now is the next decade of Kolkata real estate, capital, corridors, and consequences. The topic that we're going to be discussing right now, I'll repeat for all of you once again, this is going to be about the next decade of Kolkata real estate, capital, corridors, and consequences. What I'm going to do as a set format is I'm going to be first talking a bit about our honorable moderator, and then I'm going to be talking a bit about our speakers, and then I'll request all of them to join me on stage together. In the meantime, when the chairs are being set, I'm going to be doing the introductions. To moderate the session, we have with us a senior commercial real estate leader with extensive experience across corporate, occupier advisory, business development, and large-scale office transactions in India. He currently leads pan-India business development initiatives and oversees P&L responsibilities for East India as well as Hyderabad. His experience spans GCCs, technology firms, financial services, industrial occupiers, and large corporate office users, including supporting major occupiers in setting up large-scale operations in cities such as Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Kolkata, Mumbai, and of course, Pune. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Executive Director, Hyderabad and Kolkata Commercial Leasing and Advisory from Anarock, Pratik Mehta. Can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Mehta, please, as he makes his way to the stage? Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for joining us over here. Pleasure to have you. He's going to be moderating the session for all of us over here. I'll request all of you to put this in the center and move a little quickly, please, so that if we can have more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be now talking about our speakers. My first speaker over here has over 25 years of illustrious experience in the industry. His passion for an exclusive lifestyle drives our foray into premium residential spaces. The man behind Rishto Ki Mithas values relationships the most and regards stakeholder satisfaction as the biggest and absolutely biggest token of achievement. He serves as the group's North Star for ethicality. I'm talking about the Managing Director of Orbit Group, Basant Kumar Parakh. A big round of applause for Mr. Basant Kumar Parakh, please. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. My next speaker over here has about 2 decades of experience in real estate, which includes legal due diligence of property, drafting, vetting of term sheets, and transfer documents such as conveyance, deeds, leases, license agreements, and trust deeds. Conceiving trust structures and drafting trust deeds. He also advises on drafting of construction contracts, project finance, EPC contracts, joint development agreements, infrastructure, and governmental contracts in various aspects of RERA and real estate investment trusts. I'm talking about partner, real estate, corporate, and commercial, Khaitan and Co. Mr. Gaurav Dasgupta. Thank you so much, Mr. Dasgupta, for joining us. Big round of applause. Thank you, Shukriya. My next speaker over here is a seasoned real estate professional with over 2 decades of experience in corporate strategy, commercial leasing, and business transformation. Currently heading the commercial leasing business East at DLF Limited, he has successfully closed transactions exceeding 9 million square feet, driving market expansion and client acquisitions. With an expertise in business development, P&L management, and stakeholder negotiations, he has played a pivotal role in shaping large-scale real estate projects all over the country. His leadership in sales, marketing, and asset management has contributed to significant revenue growth and operational excellence in the sector. I'm talking about Senior Business Leader, Real Estate Strategy and Commercial Leasing, DLF Limited, Rajdeep Bhaduri. A big round of applause for Mr. Bhaduri, please. Thank you so much. We acknowledge your presence over here. Thank you. My next speaker over here, an award-winning architectural and engineering consultancy firm established in the year 1963, has over the years built up a diverse portfolio of sustainable projects ranging from educational and institutional, commercial, residential, healthcare, and interiors as well. Environmentally sustainable architecture is a major focus of her work, and she is an IGBC accredited professional, ECBC master trainer by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and is also on the National Committee for the new Environment Conservation and Sustainability Code on the Materials and Waste Management. I'm talking about the principal architect and partner, Ghosh, Bose and Associates, Shakuntala Ghosh. A big round of applause for Ms. Shakuntala Ghosh, please. Thank you so much. My next speaker over here is a first-generation entrepreneur who started his working life in hospitality, which helped him imbibe the ethos of international business. Having picked up nuances of project management, he evolved into a successful business owner, managing various projects across verticals and setting up projects across logistics, hospitality, education, entertainment, and telecom, roadways and highways, alongside civil construction as well. I'm talking about the chairman of Shrachi Group and president Credai, Howrah, Hoogly. Give it up for Tamal Ghosal, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Ghoshal, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the panel can't get better and bigger than this. I'll request all of you to please kindly join me on stage over here together. And ladies and gentlemen, আপনারা যারা পিছনে বসে আছেন, kindly জোরে হাততালি দিন for this kind of stellar people. It's not easy to get all of them together under one roof at the same time, given their busy schedules, but somehow Reality Plus has managed to do it. So thank you so much. It's an absolute pool and a powerhouse of knowledge and entertainment, and I'm sure they will be sharing the knowledge in the best way possible. So ideally, we would love all of you to sit as per the photo order so that it looks aesthetic in the video. Yeah. So ma'am, you can take the seat over there. Right, so the stage is set. Ladies and gentlemen, the panel is ready. This is the first panel. Can I request all of you to clap thoda zor se, please, everybody at the back. A little bit of appreciation, thank you. We need to keep the energy and the momentum going in. Shukriya. The timer is here for your reference, and you can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you for the kind introduction as well for the distinguished panelists. As he mentioned, the topic for today, of course, is trying to figure out that what is the next phase of growth for Kolkata looks like. What are the things that we can look for in the next 10 years for the city? As we all know, Kolkata as a city has always had very strong fundamentals, be it talent availability, talent affordability, legacy wealth, very strategic location, and a very deep-rooted entrepreneurial spirit in the city. Yet, I would say, and some people might disagree or agree, that the city has always been spoken as a place with immense potential rather than realized or achieved momentum. However, it's prudent of me to say as well that over the last few years, things have changed. There has been a strong demand from the occupier community on the office leasing side, and things have looked on the brighter side. There has been a good momentum on institutional interest in the city as well. There has been infrastructure upgradations as also. Also, I think the city as a whole and the community as a whole has shown larger confidence in upcoming and newer corridors within the city. So with that thought, it just reignites that question that is Kolkata genuinely entering a new phase of growth? And if that's the case, what are the factors that will drive it? Will it be capital? Will it be infrastructure? Will it be occupiers? Or will it be the livability and design of the city? Or Calcutta might be an exception and a city which will bring all these things together and be the place that it is. So with that thought, of course, I'll jump straight to my question to Basantji first. Basantji, you have been a stalwart in the industry, a great figure who has seen it all. My question to you would be, like, in the last 10 years, what have you seen change from an occupier and from a buyer's perspective? For a buyer of today, vis-a-vis a buyer 10 years back, what are the things that have changed and what are the things that we should all take note of?
The thing is, it's a matter of perception. It's a matter of continuous evolving ourselves. 10 years before, we were a little more conservative. Over the years, we have become very progressive. We know what is happening elsewhere. Our aspiration level have gone up. Our requirements have changed. In next 10 years, इन लास्ट 10 years जो क्लास 12 में पढ़ते थे आज वो एडल्ट हो गए हैं, दे हैव बिकम द डिसीजन मेकर्स। हम जो 45-55 के थे आज हमको सीनियर सिटीजन बना दिया, ये चेंज हुआ है। तो सोच चेंज हुई है, 10 साल में सोच चेंज हुई है। आजकल तो एक जनरेशन 5 साल में बदल जाता है, लोग कहते हैं 3 साल में बदल जाता है, तो 10 साल तो एक डिकेड हुआ, बहुत अरसा हुआ। मैं हिंदी में भी बोलता हूँ, अंग्रेजी में बोलता हूँ, आप सब समझते हैं। मेरी अंग्रेजी बहुत अच्छी नहीं है तो हिंदी में कहता हूँ। तो परसेप्शन बदल रहा है, सोच बदल रही है, सोच के साथ व्यवहार बदल रहा है, व्यवहार के साथ हम व्यापार करते हैं, वो व्यापार का तरीका भी बदल रहा है। वो हमने सबने देखा है। अक्सर हम जितने भी हैं, मेरे को लगता है 10 साल से इस लाइन में होंगे या ज़्यादा से होंगे, या पिछले 5 साल से तो डेफिनेटली होंगे। तो हमने रियल एस्टेट को बदलते देखा है, कंस्ट्रक्शन को बदलते देखा है, बायर के रिक्वायरमेंट को बदलते देखा है, लॉज को बदलते देखा है, हर चीज़ में बदलाव देखा है। बिल्डर के नेचर में बदलाव देखा है, बिल्डर की क्रेडिबिलिटी में बदलाव देखा है, आर्किटेक्चर के डिज़ाइन में बदलाव देखा है। बदलाव ज़िंदगी है। जब बदलाव नहीं होता है, जब ठहर जाता है तो पानी भी सड़ जाता है, हम सब जानते हैं। जब गति रुक जाती है तो प्रोग्रेस रुक जाती है। यही हमारे रियल एस्टेट में भी है। गति होनी चाहिए, चाहे आप धीमे चलें या तेज़ चलें, गति होनी चाहिए। आप कहीं 1 घंटे में पहुंच सकते हैं, किसी दूसरे जगह है आप आधी घंटा या 20 मिनट में पहुंच सकते हैं, लेकिन आप पहुंचेंगे ज़रूर। ये बहुत ज़रूरी बात है। और बत्रा साहब ने एक बात कही थी कि ये डेवलपर जो हैं उनको कुछ करना चाहिए। डेवलपर एक एरिया स्पेसिफिक हो सकता है। मैं कहता हूँ मीडिया को करना चाहिए। मीडिया में दम है। हमारा वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, हमारे ऊपर पावर का प्रभाव हो सकता है, मीडिया के ऊपर नहीं हो सकता है। तो मीडिया क्यों नहीं कहती है कि आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको ये करना चाहिए? वो नहीं कहती, वो कहते बिल्डर को करना चाहिए। क्यों करना चाहिए? हम पैसा दे सकते हैं, हम देते हैं, हर तरह से देते हैं। पैसा का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम वैसे पैसा देते हैं, हम प्रोग्रेस में पैसा देते हैं, हम स्टैम्प ड्यूटी में पैसा देते हैं, वर्कर सेस में पैसा देते हैं, हम डेवलपमेंट फीस में पैसा देते हैं। और क्या अपना प्राण देंगे? ये आप समझिए। तमालदा समझते हैं इस बात को। या बहुत लोग समझते हैं कि मैं डिप्लोमेसी से बात करता हूँ। मैं डिप्लोमेसी से बात नहीं करता, मैं दिल से बात करता हूँ। आप सबके दिल में है, ज़बान पे नहीं लाते। ज़बान पे लाइए, ज़बान पे लाइए। तो कॉरिडोर इन्होंने कहा 10 साल में ये बदला है। हम जो कमज़ोर थे आज स्ट्रांग हैं, हम जो आइसोलेटेड थे आज यूनिटी पे हैं। हम बैठे हैं ना, अलग अलग जगह से आके एक साथ बैठे हैं ना, ये शक्ति है। 10 साल में हमारी आवाज़ में बुलंदी हुई है, हमारी आवाज़ में ताकत हुई है, और हम शायद एक मत हुए हैं। ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, वो हम हुए हैं, ये बड़ी बात है। इस बात को लेके हम आगे चल सकें तो मैं समझता हूँ ये बंगाल के लिए नहीं, सब जगह के लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा। और एक बात और, छोटी सी बात, बहुत समय कम होगा, वो ये है कि अब जहाँ के हैं वहाँ के कहिए कि आई लव यू। मैं कहता हूँ आई लव कोलकाता। हम सब कहते हैं कोलकाता में ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है। और आपको एक बात बताऊँ, तमालदा मेरे बहुत इंस्पिरेशन है। मेरे कार्ड में लिखा है आई लव कोलकाता। तो हम आई लव ही बोल दें तो बुराई नहीं दिखेगी, बुराई होगी तो भी नहीं दिखेगी। तो ये परिवर्तन है, और ये परिवर्तन आगे जाके हम सबको की मुस्कान का कारण बनेगा, मैं ये समझता हूँ और विश्वास भी है।
बसंत जी, आपने बहुत सही बात कही, एंड आई कंप्लीटली अग्री विद दिस, एंड आई कीप टेलिंग दिस बिकॉज माई रोल टेक्स मी अक्रॉस इंडिया, कि जब तक हम कलेक्टिवली अपने सिटी को दिल से प्रमोट नहीं करेंगे तब तक कोई और आदमी आकर वो काम नहीं करेगा. इट इज़ आवर कलेक्टिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू टॉक गुड अबाउट द सिटी wherever we are, wherever we get an opportunity at whatever platform. That makes a lot of difference, trust me. I've seen that happen, and definitely it makes a lot of difference. But बसंत जी, आपने जो कहा और बहुत सही बात कही, मैं एक क्वेश्चन उनसे आपसे और करना चाहूँगा. तो क्या आप देख रहे हैं कि कलकत्ता का जो एक सेंटिमेंट है वो अब एक वैल्यू ड्रिवन मार्केट से हट के एक प्रीमियम एस्पिरेशनल मार्केट की तरफ बढ़ रहा है?
मैंने 2 मिनट पहले ये कहा था कि नज़रिया बदल रहा है, समय बदल रहा है, एस्पिरेशंस बदल रहे हैं, हम ज़्यादा जागरूक हो रहे हैं. द गूगल इज़ ऑन आवर पाम, वी कैन सी वॉट एवर दिस इज हैपनिंग ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. पहले एक बच्चे को आप चॉकलेट दे देते थे, बोलते अच्छा है, आज उसको बोलता है मुझे ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए, बिकॉज उसको दिखता है, क्लास 2 से दिखता है. मेरी पोती है, वो 2.5 साल की है, उसको मोबाइल चलाना आता है. आप समझ सकते हैं कि एस्पिरेशन लेवल कहाँ गया होगा. हमारे रियल स्टेट में भी वही है, एस्पिरेशन बढ़ रहा है. जब एस्पिरेशन बढ़ता है ना, तो ये बायर्स मार्केट होता है. जब बायर्स मार्केट होता है तो सेलर को वही देना पड़ता है जो बायर मांगता है, उसके साथ सर्विस भी देनी पड़ती है. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. वॉट एज अ डेवलपर वी जनरली लैक इज दिस सर्विस आफ्टर पोजेशन. मैं हरदम मानता हूँ, और जो मुझे जानने वाले हैं शायद वो भी ये मानते होंगे. इफ़ आई एम रॉन्ग काइंडली करेक्ट मी, इफ़ आई एम सेइंग समथिंग मोर काइंडली रेक्टिफाई मी. जब तक आप पोजीशन देते हैं तब तक आप कुछ भी नहीं करते. यू आर ड्यूटी बाउंड टू डू दैट. उसके बाद जो करते हैं दैट एड्स टू योर गुडविल. तो वो परसेप्शन बदला है कि लोग कहते हैं कि अरे यहाँ तक तो ठीक है, इसके बाद क्या, आप क्या सर्विस देते हैं, क्या प्रोडक्ट देते हैं. इसलिए आप कलकत्ते में देखिएगा, शुरू में सबसे पहला अगर आप बंगलो हाउस प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे तो वो देखिए बगल में बैठे हैं, मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, तमाल दा, उन्होंने इतिहास चालू किया, अब लोग देख रहे हैं. तो ये बदलाव है. वो स्ट्रगल किए, अब हम जो करते हैं वो स्ट्रगल नहीं करते हैं. उन्होंने स्ट्रगल किया, उन्होंने रास्ता दिखाया, हमने देखा. ये परिवर्तन है. लग्जरी डिज़ाइन पे आ रही है. मैडम बताएंगी डिज़ाइन में कितना चेंजेस हुआ है, डिज़ाइन कितनी इफ़िशिएंट हुई है. मैं एक नई बात करता हूँ सर, 2 मिनट और. मैडम, आई हैव थॉट अबाउट 2 and I am implementing. One is romantic spaces. Why these space would be 4 walls and a roof? It must have romance. It must have she homes. कि घर की she को क्या चाहिए, ये परसेप्शन का चेंज है. ये परसेप्शन का चेंज है. 4 walls and roof, 1,000 रुपए का मार्बल लगाना डिज़ाइन नहीं है. डिज़ाइन क्रिएटिंग वो है. हमारा जेलिंग होना चाहिए. हम क्या चाहते हैं, आप क्या चाहते हैं, फिर हम बताएंगे कि बायर क्या चाहता है. जब इसका मिश्रण होता है ना, तो रियल स्टेट का कुंभ बनेगा.
Absolutely, absolutely. Romanticizing the space is one word which will stick on to me for sure. I think that is one concept that we all can take home today. Romanticizing the space, yeah.
Group in my conclave which is saying romantic spaces.
Fantastic, fantastic. Shakuntala ji, in fact, I wanted to come to you next because Basant ji just mentioned about how things have changed from an architect's point of view as well. What do you think people want their workspace and living space to look like today? Do you think there is a stark shift on what people want today?
There is an absolutely stark shift. I can see that, and it has happened, while we've been designing projects. And some things have happened in this last 10 years. A key one was COVID, right? So we saw it firsthand while we were designing, say, the HDFC regional headquarters, Anantham. You may have seen it, 24-story building. And where they started out, then the interior planning and all was supposed to be done, and then COVID struck. And after COVID, the whole perception of office spaces changed. Like from, how many people you can put in 1 square feet, or how many, from that it became a more oriented towards well-being and having a more home-like feel in the office, having spaces for gathering, community working. The entire MEP systems changed. Of course, we as a company, we have always adhered to the highest levels of fresh air and all of this. But those changed. Then touch-free spaces, like getting into lifts without touching anything. So all these things changed, and very much for the better, because now the focus is on the person. Like Basant Parakh ji said, romanticizing the space. What is a person feeling? It's not just an employee to be stuffed into a space. And the same goes for homes. It's not just about square feet. It's about the emotions which are coming. The next other big trend, of course, is the sustainability aspect. as a company, we have been doing it for years now. But in 2015, as chairperson of IGBC then, we convinced the state government to give a 10% incentive to buildings which were gold or platinum rated. And 10 years ago, there was not that much knowledge or, about this. But now I think if you go to anyone in the construction industry, real estate, they know what green buildings are. So this is a huge shift, and it is pushed by the buyer as well. They want it. There was a number of things which have really resonated with me today, and I'm so happy to hear. From the time we walked in, Tamal, Basant, Parakh ji, and we were all talking, and then in the keynote address itself, about urban infrastructure. All this ties in which larger threads, this war of the last 5 weeks, it has brought home to us how fragile our lives and economy is, that everything depends on a waterway which is about 20 miles wide. And that goes and our lives go. So we really have to think from a planning perspective. What can we do? It ties in with our net zero goals. Prime Minister has said 2070 we have to reach net zero, right? But how do we get there? Now, real estate is a prime mover that needs to be part of the process. The government needs to be part of the process, and planners and designers like us need to be part of the process along with the consumers and stakeholders. They all have to come together. Parakh ji said, what can we do? The government takes money from us, but if they don't spend it. But how much power the realty sector has? It is the major industry in this part of the world. So if you get together, designers get together to give the blueprint, this is what we want, and then state government has to follow through, because ultimately, see, it is this. The urban realm is what differentiates a place. We are in a very unique position in history. A lot of young people who thought they were going to live abroad forever, they are be looking to come back now because it's not so conducive in the US and all of that. But when they come back, they're going to see potholed roads. They're going to see they can't take their bike out for a ride. They can't walk anywhere. There are no urban spaces to enjoy. So I think it is on us who love Kolkata to really find out a way, and I think through Credai and IGBC, architects, planning bodies, we need to get there, right? To that space to make an attractive place. Now imagine this, that if you had a 15-minute city, 5 minutes you get your basic eggs and bread, walk, right? 5 minutes your child, grandchild can go to the nursery school. 15-minute walk, you get to an urban center and more facilities. 15-minute bike ride, you get to everything you need. This is where you need to go. No cars, active transportation, pedestrian friendly, mixed use, dense. So this is our only way to survive and thrive on this planet. And we need all 4 of these stakeholders to come together and do it. This is the right forum. I thank Realty Plus for bringing us all here. And I hope that it is not another conference, but it is the start of something wonderful.
Thank you so much. I think what you said absolutely makes sense, that walkability, livability, and the social space of a city will define how the growth will shape out to be. But now, having established very clearly that Calcutta is kind of entering the phase of growth that we all want it to be, Tamal, my question to you would be, which corridors do you think would cater to that expansion and to that growth story for the city?
So this is a question which I'll probably be a little biased because I've done most of my work across on the western side of the city. But before starting that, I must give you one fact about Basant Bhai. That one, I love Kolkata, which he was talking about. When the Kolkata Municipal Corporation started giving away public spaces for redevelopment, there was only one developer, nobody else. And I say that with pride because I know him. One developer walked and said, you give me as many spaces as you want, and I will develop them into beautiful green patches. And that's what we see. I love Kolkata, and you see I love this, I love that. That is the man who started it. Let's have a big hand for him. So I think it's very important that all of us here and everywhere, that we start thinking and giving back. But I'll come to what Pratik has asked me. You see, I think real estate or anything which is landed is a very strong function of good infrastructure. Infrastructure will lead you. If you don't have infrastructure, there is no point building anything. Fortunately or unfortunately, this state has lagged a little behind the rest of the country. And that is truth. It's not politics. But assuming that what has been planned will get implemented, if you see the growth corridors, obviously my favorite would be the western bank of the Hoogly, but there are quite a few growth corridors. Obviously the one which you're sitting in, which is now pretty well developed, and it is expanding beyond where we are. Obviously the southern part of the city, which is really, as people, I would say, migrated from the crowded northern part of the city to the southern part. They've probed deeper and deeper into the southern part. Again, function of great infrastructure, both. The southwest part of the city, the Behala, Thakurpukurs, could have really expanded far more, but it did not, again, a function of the infrastructure. But when we look at all of this together, and we start looking at the western part of the city, I'll tell you why it is the biggest growth corridor. Okay. Western part of the city, because Calcutta gets divided by the river, right? So we have the eastern part is Calcutta, the western part is Howrah and Hoogly districts. They actually predate Calcutta's civilizations, because civilization started there before even Calcutta came. But unfortunately, they were more, as we call Howrah, a coolie town to Kolkata. Primarily all the bosses lived here, and the people who worked for the bosses and the factories happened there. So that had that stigma. But over the period of time, as we move on, with infrastructure happening, the national highway widening, it started with the widening of the national highways. And now you would all see that elevated road which is coming between the second bridge and the national highway system. It's called the Kona Express Elevated Corridor. That 7-kilometer road will suddenly open the next 20 kilometers of the hinterland for exploitation. And as you move beyond the various infrastructure projects which are coming, some of you may have heard of the Varanasi Expressway. That is, from today, Delhi to Varanasi is completely access controlled, through various roads, starting from the JP Expressway to the Agra Expressway and everything. After that, they're building this road, which comes to a place called Bagnan, just to be a little specific. From there, they're building the 4th bridge across the Hoogly to connect to a place which is 6 kilometers beyond Joka, which is a very fast connect between the western part of the city and the southwest part of the city, opening the entire southwestern and southern part of the city to the national highway system. Then they're building an underground tunnel from a place called Shakuntala, again on the national highway, right to the Kolkata port. So if you just take the function of these three infrastructures, it is typically doing what peripheral Expressway 1 and PER 1 and 2 did to Delhi. It's becoming a large ring road system. And I see a focus of the entire, if you see the logistics infrastructure today, post the GST, where an economy like West Bengal, which was like a consuming economy, really boomed. The entire logistics and warehousing business, as Pratik, you do so much, is in that 10-kilometer belt. That is the place to be, because you have access to railways, you have access to the roads. So I see a greater Calcutta building. And I also see developers You know, I have a little complaint about Kolkata-based developers. They find it very difficult to look beyond the city. But the first time I'm seeing people are looking, because a lot of people talk to me because I look after that region from the real estate developer fraternity. About, oh, जगह कैसा है, वहाँ क्या कर सकते हैं, वहाँ बनेगा तो बिकेगा कि नहीं, क्या rate मिलेगा. So I see a little excitement. And lot of people have started building projects out. So I think once this infrastructure really comes, and I think which is absolutely A-grade, A-class infrastructure, suddenly we will see people always would move towards a place which will make, you know, give them better quality of access to the various amenities. Of course, nothing is bigger than making living better. And, but, you know, as Shakuntala was also saying, I actually see, even in Kolkata, if you see the New Town area, the public spaces which has been built, have really, really evolved. In fact, few days back, I think somebody posted that beautiful sporting infrastructure built around the Baguihati flyover. I think Billa or somebody posted on X about this beautiful sporting infrastructure. Anand Mahindra, correct. So I can always see a lot of that. But if you go to places like Delhi, Mumbai is building this 20-kilometer promenade along the coastal expressway, which is all about walking, cycling. It is about connecting, like we've seen in many other cities of the world. And if anybody has lived or visited New York, this 20% of New York is the New York Central Park. It is immense. So I think public spaces and good quality public spaces are critical, and it is the soul of the city. So I think that is something we still have to evolve, especially in the areas, and I think real estate developers are important. But I think Shakuntala also says that all of us need to get together. Probably it's a little unfair that we do not do as much as we're supposed to do, because when we go to the government, we are only kind of, you know, preoccupied by getting our numbers right, getting our sanction plan out, and etc. I think there is a space for us to, you know, as organizations like Credai and the IGBC and the Indian Institute of Architects to get together. And I was talking, I'll take 30 seconds to finish this. You know, last week I was in a city in Vietnam, and I was telling them Da Nang. And there was a large construction. Being a construction man, I got very excited. You know, and I started walking, and I wanted to see, and I said, can I see? And I saw a white man who was supposedly the project man. He was a Brit. And they were building the sidewalks, the pavements. And I questioned him, how is this design, and why are you building it? Isn't the municipality building it? He said, no, the entire public space across and around our building has to be built by us. And it is built on designs and specifications given to us. So there is continuity. So I don't know why we can't do something like that. You know, that is a thought which really, really, you know, and I'm not talking about the UK or, you know, or the US or Canada or Australia. I'm talking about Vietnam, and very similar country like ours. 100 million people, more two-wheelers than anything else in the world. Traffic is chaotic. If people like them can think like this, and single-party system, we can, I'm sure, do better. You know, I think so. Overall, I think I would feel that the western part of the Kolkata KMA, as we call it, is a super growth corridor across segments. And I think we are going to be in a situation where we feel that that's going to be right in the middle of the city in years to come.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think what you just said, it's a very classic trap when certain cities just concentrate on one particular corridor to fuel its growth. And that's not something which is sustainable in the long term. And Tamal, we have all seen, whoever knows Tamal, we have all seen what kind of critical role he has played in ensuring that Calcutta does not fall into that trap. And we see a growth which is 360 degree to the city. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, absolutely. Gaurav, so you have worked with a lot of institutional investors as well, and there is a lot of buzz around it in Calcutta as also. So would you say that there are certain corridors which provide like better clarity in terms of compliances, and those are more attractive to them?
Before that, I would just like to say that what now we are seeing is we are seeing a lot of investments, not just from local developers or national developers, but foreign funds Like for example, Blackstone invested in South City Mall. ESR had invested in Logistics Park. So similarly, when foreign developers, foreign funds are investing in the country and in our city, what happens is that we come in the Indian map and the global map. But the flip side is that they are very, very particular about compliances, help from the state government, clarity of laws, and provisions. So they have another thing which is important, things like ESG, which probably we have not thought of too much. Like for example, green buildings. Now many developers have started making buildings in compliance with green provisions, but which was not very prevalent before. But the moment a foreign investor comes, these are the things which they are looking for. And in this scenario, some of the corridors need to maybe come up and be compliant with these things so that the investors from all across the world and country at least can consider investing in the country, because if the compliances are easier and these things are easier, then it will be easier for them to come and invest. So like NKDA has done a good job where the entire part which is under them, they have a very clear-cut provisions. They have, and they keep changing provisions based on the feedback from the stakeholders, mixed use, etc., changing the LUDCP based on the feedback. So maybe the Western Corridor, which Tamal was mentioning, if they also come up with the similar provisions and make these changes, because we are looking at that as a future. The state government definitely has been making changes based on the feedback by the stakeholders. Like say, for example, the conversion from leasehold to freehold, the usage of leasehold land for a one particular purpose to mixed use, the township provisions. Like for example, in Siliguri, after the Lakshmi, there are several other townships coming up in West Bengal also, I mean other parts of West Bengal also. Because one thing, many of these cities or towns of West Bengal were probably very advanced at one particular point of time. Because I used to listen from my father, Durgapur, Kalyani, these used to be much developed maybe 50 years back. But if you see other states, like in Maharashtra, whenever you say Maharashtra, you don't say Mumbai. You say Mumbai, Pune, and other cities. Here, the moment you start, it starts and ends with Kolkata, which is surprising because the other cities had already been developed much before. Maybe after that, it has not come up. So the maybe local regulations by the local bodies, if it is more streamlined, like say for example, single window clearance, which has been brought by the government, but I don't know how many people are aware of it or how many people have used it. Maybe making it, a lot of it online, without a lot of human interaction, because that is where the problem comes in. After AI is there, if a lot of it is converted to just virtual, so single window clearance, better regulations, and all these things, I think will give a huge boost to our city and the development which will be coming up in the future here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a blueprint to ease out this procedure would definitely be a game changer. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that today where we are standing, we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as institutional grade assets are concerned in the country. I think institutional grade assets going forward from a commercial real estate point of view would be something which would be driving the growth in the country. We are already seeing a lot of interest from a lot of private equity firms across the country into buying assets, in fact investment in land as well. So definitely easing out the regulatory framework would make them more, I would say, open to kind of consider many other property and asset classes as well. Which brings me, Rajdeep, to you. Of course, you have been a champion on the commercial real estate side. And there has been an inflection point as far as Calcutta's story also goes, wherein we are seeing an uptick in the demand from occupiers for offices across the country. What do you think has changed from now till, say, 5 years back? And what kind of conversations are occupiers having as far as Calcutta is concerned?
Thank you, Pratik. Other panel members. So I'll just sum it up in, whatever has been said by the other speakers. So Kolkata has always was evaluated on the basis of perception. Now I think probably the time has come that we are evaluating the city based on fundamentals. If you, just doing a structurally, whatever we have discussed, so if you, just get into a pyramid structure, the bottom of the pyramid is infrastructure and pricing. Second part would be demand. And the last part is the capital at the top of it. When all these things align, you have a consistent growth story. So, Tamal was mentioning about expanding the city. Basantji was saying the same thing that, our contributions can be that we can be part of an ecosystem, but we are not the ecosystem. The enablers are different. There are different stakeholders. So what needs to be, thought of from a city perspective, and if you go across asset classes in all cities, it has always been, infrastructure has driven growth. The infrastructure has led to clusters, and clusters have, evolved the demand. The demand side has always evolved based on clusters. I'll give you a classic example. Let's take Sector 5 for example. Initial stage, we had a couple of buildings, small plots given to various companies, and then we saw the entrance of developers. Small size developments, grade B developments. That's where, probably the story got a little bit, sort of broken down. Newtown was, sort of given a huge impetus that this will be the new city, new, paradigm shift in the Kolkata skyline. And then something went wrong. All this missing dots is infrastructure. So today at the heart of it, if you have the, the Sector 5 to Howrah connectivity which has been completed, you are seeing a traction in the demand. Because you are taking the workforce from the hinterland to the main city. You are, now what happens to Newtown? The moment you are, making it connecting to the airport, look what kind of things can happen. Across the city, across corridors, you are making a huge, sort of impetus on the entire expansion of the city. So that's why, from day one, Kolkata has stagnated. That's the, sort of word and the perception which keeps on coming. But the perception is based on that, have we tried ever to, sort of clear the bottlenecks? He was talking of the, the elevated Kona Expressway. That has been going for a long time. Aren't we? Aren't we waiting for that? So, the moment this kind of infrastructures, is put on a corrective, sort of phase and things start developing, we will see a different, sort of growth story. As I said, the value and the capital, again, capital is just waiting. They are, sort of seeing what is happening in Kolkata. The moment the things fall in place, it will be all sorted. Now coming to the base question about the occupier trends, definitely there has been growth stories. We have now probably around 2.5 million square feet of transactions happening over a year, but there's no supply. So again, supply needs to be, GCC has gone to 39% in the year-on-year growth, 19% across India. We are only 2% shareholder of the entire country. Look at the kind of, the opportunities we have. The moment we, sort of get to that stage that we can, sort of the inflection point is reached, we'll have a different set of, people coming, GCC operators coming, who will change the landscape, get people to come into the workforce, and people will be more than happy, sort of working from here.
So that actually brings me to a very classic chicken and egg theory. And from someone who has looked at this industry very closely, and Basant ji from a developer's perspective as well, would you say that in Calcutta, the demand should fuel the supply, or we should provision for the supply and the demand would come in? What are your thoughts on that?
I think this is reciprocal. ये बिल्कुल रेसिप्रोकल है. ये बहुत मिसनॉमर है कि पहले चिकन या एग आपने जो कहा कि पहले डिमांड होगी या सप्लाई होगी. जो बिजनेस करता है ना उसको पता है क्या होगा. ये सारा परसेप्शन पे है. कोई कहता है कि कभी डिमांड ऊपर हो गई, कभी नीचे हो गई, कभी शेयर बाजार बढ़ रहा तो कहता है ये तो 1 लाख पे चला जाएगा, अब गिर गया फिर चढ़ जाएगा. व्यापार है, ये तो ट्रेड साइकिल है. रिकवरी होती है, बूम आता है, रिसेशन आता है, स्टेबिलिटी आती है. ये इकोनॉमिक्स है. मेरे को उतनी इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं आती है. मैं बहुत पैसे को ध्यान नहीं देता, इसलिए मेरे को इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं आती है. लेकिन ये बात ज़रूर है कि पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है, रिक्वायरमेंट बढ़ रही है, एस्पिरेशंस बढ़ रहे हैं, न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज़ बढ़ रही हैं. पहले एक घर में 3 बच्चे थे तो एक घर होता था, अब 3 है तो 3 चाहिए. पहले एक गाड़ी में 6 बैठते थे, अब 6 गाड़ी में 1 बैठता है. तो वो बदल गया है. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. और दूसरी बात ये है, 2 मिनट में कहता हूँ, वो ये है कि आपने डेवलपमेंट की बात की. तो अगर हम ये कहते हैं, तमालदा ने कहा कि ये ग्रीन स्पेसेस बना लो. तमालदा तो अपने आप को बहुत कम कहते हैं. हम जानते हैं तमालदा इज़ 1%. आप तकलीफ़ में हो, एक आवाज़ दीजिए तमालदा. तमालदा वहाँ हैं. इस हॉल में कोई भी नहीं है जो ऐसा है, मैं भी नहीं. मैं उनसे बहुत कुछ सीखता हूँ, तो थोड़ा बनने का प्रयास करता हूँ. With all humbleness and modesty, he never cares for competition. He is there, which is rare. दूसरी बात, आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करते हैं. बत्रा जी बोल के चले गए, मैं देख नहीं पा रहा हूँ उनको यहाँ पर. नहीं, ये ज़रूरी है, उनको सुनना चाहिए. डेवलपमेंट क्या होता है. मैंने यहाँ पर न्यू टाउन में एक प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं, वो डीएलएफ का ही था. डीएलएफ ने एक किया, चले गए. दूसरा किया, उसको चले गए. तीसरा, उसको चले गए. क्यों चले गए? ये प्रश्न करिए इनसे, ये यहाँ से चले क्यों गए? ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. मैं गया, मैंने कहा सर वो डीएलएफ जो हम कर रहे हैं, अभी आज भी लोग वही नहीं कहते अर्बन पार्क कर रहे हैं, वो कहते हैं डीएलएफ कर रहा है. आपकी ब्रांड में इतना पावर है, इतना पावर है. आप चले गए, लेकिन आपके नाम से ही वो प्रोजेक्ट है. डीएलएफ का प्रोजेक्ट जो अर्बन पार्क ऑर्बिट कर रहा है, वो डीएलएफ का. तो उसके सामने एक ग्रीन पैच है. हमने 6 महीना पहले अप्लाई किया कि ये ग्रीन पैच हमको मेंटेन करने के लिए दीजिए, हम सुंदर से मेंटेन करेंगे. फाइट यहाँ से वहाँ, वहाँ से वहाँ गई. लास्ट में मैं गया, तो नाम नहीं लूँगा, एक बड़े ऑफिसर ने कहा आप ये क्यों करना चाहते हैं? हमने कहा आप नहीं कर रहे इसलिए करना चाहते हैं. इससे ज़्यादा क्या जवाब दूँ? क्यों करना चाहते हैं? अरे आप नहीं कर रहे हैं तब करना चाहता हूँ. आप क्या करेंगे? हमने जो आपने नहीं किया वो हम करेंगे. आप समझिए. ये क्यों कहा? बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं कहा, क्योंकि एक टीचर ने मुझे कहा था कि बल्क इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी फॉर ब्यूटी. जितना भी करें आनंद से करें, अच्छा करें. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, हम सब मिल के करें. दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सर. और हम जब मिल के करेंगे ना, एक आवाज़ में करेंगे ना, तो फिर ये परसेप्शन, ये डेवलपमेंट, हमारी आवाज़ में ताकत होगी. सबको सुनना पड़ेगा. हम यहाँ आए हैं, यहाँ से वापस चले जाएंगे, we will be isolated. Let us be one. और 1-2 लाइन बोल दूं, आपका टाइम ले रहा हूं, वो ज़रूरी है. मैं लिखता भी हूं कभी कभी, वो मेरे रियल स्टेट में भी दिखता है. मैं उसको अपना पैशन मानता हूं, ऑर्बिट को पहला परिवार मानता हूं. इसलिए आप लोग और हम के डेवलपर और अपने जो भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, उनके लिए 2 लाइन कहता हूं. तमालदा, आपसे सीख के कि नहीं, वो हंस रहे हैं, लेकिन ये सीख के कि आओ तुम्हारी परेशानियों को कुछ कम कर दूं. आओ तुम्हारी परेशानियों को कुछ कम कर दूं, मैं और तुम से हटकर हम कर दूं. तो जब हम बन जाएंगे हम, तो हम एक होंगे और हमारी आवाज़ में ताकत होगी और लोगों को हमको सुनना पड़ेगा. ये समय आ गया. आपने 10 साल पुरानी बात कही, तो वहीं पे एंड करता हूँ कि जब हम एक हो जाएंगे तो सबको सुनना पड़ेगा. तमालदा और हम एक हो जाएंगे, आप और हम एक हो जाएंगे, आप हम और एक हो जाएंगे, तो फिर कमाल होगा.
बहुत सर, आपने बहुत सही बात कही. आई मीन मुझे इसके आगे और कुछ कहने के लिए शब्द नहीं मिल रहे कि हम अगर एक हो जाए तो सब कुछ हो सकता है, हर चीज़ हासिल की जा सकती है. And with that thought, of course, Tripti is looking at me saying that you guys have to be conscious of time as well. But I will have to ask this to every one of you. Like, agar aap sabko, all of you, if you have to define Calcutta's next 10 years in one word, it can be good, neutral, or anything other that you want it to be. What would that word be? With you.
So I would borrow Warren Buffett's line that price is what you pay today, value is what you get tomorrow.
Lovely.
That's
lovely.
what I sum up.
Gaurav, for you. Shakuntala ji, if you.
One word, right?
One word or a line.
One word.
Yeah.
Vibrant.
Vibrant. Yes, that we all agree Calcutta is. Yes. Tamalda.
Well, I think let's make Calcutta so beautiful that we can get our children back here.
That's a wonderful thought. I mean,
that's it. Let's all contribute together, and I think we are part of a generation where we just see our children flying everywhere out. So it's my dream, or I think a dream of this generation, to make Calcutta so vibrant, so beautiful, so happy that they can look at this not only as a great home, but also a place for a great career.
Beautiful thought. Gaurav.
I think we already have probably the best people in the country. I don't know where you would find a developer who's also a philosopher and a poet. We just need the infrastructure and the mindset change of everyone, which I'm sure will happen very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Basant ji, aapke taraf se last.
2 word. दिल से बहुत जरूरी है. आप यहाँ से बाहर चले जाइए, भूलिएगा मत. दिल से सोचिएगा, आई लव यू बोलिएगा. लोगों के कान पर जाएगी. मैं आप बता, तमालदा ने कहा कि आई लव कोल. मैंने 4 लाइन लिखी थी सर, 2 मिनट दीजिए, 2 सेकंड. अब जीरो हो गया. वो जब आई लव कोलकाता कहा तो मैंने ममता दीदी को एक चिट्ठी लिखने का प्रयास किया था. वो चिट्ठी अल्टीमेटली गई नहीं, तो मैंने उसमें ये लिखा था, मुझे याद है कुछ कि दिस सिटी हैज़ गिवन अस प्लेंटी. इट इज़ टाइम दैट वी गिव द सिटी एटलीस्ट अ बिट. आप समझ रहे हैं? बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है. हम क्यों बुरा कहें? होगा, अच्छा हो जाएगा. ये यहाँ से यहाँ तक आ गए, जीरो से हीरो बन गए. इसी कलकत्ते ने बनाया कि नहीं बनाया?
एब्सोल्युटली सर, जो है यहीं से है.
यहीं से है ना. तो फिर हमने क्या किया यहाँ के लिए? स्टॉप ब्लेमिंग, डू समथिंग, लिटिल बिट विल बी टुमारो. इंडिया का टुमारो यहाँ से है, यहाँ से था, अब होगा. ये कहें तो हो जाएगा.
Absolutely. I think with that thought, of course, I don't want to, but we'll have this conversation and probably carry on this conversation behind the scenes as well. I think something which has been clearly established with conversation is that the next 10 years for Calcutta looks really, really bright. Of course, we have to understand and we have to take ownership and accountability of our part in that, as Basantji also pointed out, that it's a collectively responsibility of everyone out in this room to ensure that we speak of our city with the same love that it deserves. So with that thought, thank you so much for being a patient audience, and thank you Realty Plus for giving us this platform.
Thank you so much to, I think, all of you, and I'll request all of you to remain on stage. It's not just you all. I think even we wanted that time never really gets over. Please give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be calling up on stage Mr. Amit Baid, who's the Honorable Founder at ABC Brand Advisory, to please kindly come up on stage and give our esteemed speakers the token of appreciation. A big round of applause for Mr. Baid as well, please, as he makes his way to the stage. Can we have the token of appreciations on stage? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.